Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about teachable moments.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I want to talk about teachable moments. I have been blessed to be taught by one of the greatest teachers that I will probably ever know. And that's my own mother. I continually, even though she worked a ton of hours and she wasn't always present, and I wished I had more time with my mom as a child, every single day, every single moment, if I spent extended time with my mom, not only did I learn something, but if we were in an environment of other people, I watched my mother listen to people and pour into people. And I think it's one of the greatest gifts that we could give somebody else is our knowledge. And sometimes I think, I don't know if that's a fortunate thing for people in my life or not, but I like to pour into people, but I think it's because my mother set that example. So every moment is a teachable moment. I was literally just about to do a podcast on, and the title would have been, You Don't Have to Eat It If You Don't Want It, and I will get to that title. And that title talks about how my mother said that to me. Look, if you don't want to eat it, you don't have to, but I want you to try it. But as I was uploading my last episode and about to record another, as sometimes I record multiples a day, I'm waiting and I get a post that somebody new, Chef Nick, is following me on Instagram. I'm like, I got a moment. This is uploading. Let me check that out before I record another. And Chef Nick happens to be 11 years old. And I say, well, why would an 11-year-old with 4 followers follow me? So I go and see who some of his followers are. And I recognize his mom. I might get emotional here on this one because it's the impact of pouring into people. I am a life coach by trade. I am a father. I'm a husband. But I believe in people. And his mother, about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago, did a coaching call with me. She was going through a very difficult time. And I'll tell you, I've had one coaching call with this woman 4 years ago. She follows me on Facebook, and I followed her story. And she has shared with me that there has been some impact in her life from that one coaching call. It was a complimentary call. She wasn't in a position financially to hire a life coach at the time. And she was in an abusive relationship. My advice to her was to move forward, move on, get out of it. It's not serving her, and ultimately it's not serving her child, which at the time was 7 years old. He's 11 years old today, and he follows me on Instagram. So I followed him back, and I said, be consistent. Just show up every day and show your passion. He said his passion is food, and he had one post. And I just sent him a message. I said, show us your passion every day. Be consistent. And he says, my mother's my inspiration. And I didn't know how much he knew about me, right? He was 7 at the time. He's 11 now. And I said, well, then your mother is an amazing woman. Continue to be inspired, but make her proud. He goes, do you know who my mother is? And I said, I do. I just didn't know if you knew who I was. And he said, my mother's told me a lot about you. Because every time his mother, after our coaching call, and I got to know her on a 1 hour, 1.5 hour call, I watched her shift her life for the better. She started making better decisions for herself. She got out of that toxic relationship with this young man's father. She moved forward. She is now she started her own business. She is now a fitness junkie. It's funny because she makes cakes for a living. And you've seen this transformation from this woman who was scared and afraid of life and scared to make a move. She made a shift and moved forward. This isn't necessarily it is a parenting podcast because we can inspire and pour into people every single day. And regardless of the fact that she didn't become a client of mine, I followed her journey, and every time I see a hurdle, I congratulate her. I let her know that I'm watching. I let her know that somebody out there cares and it's not about dollars. And I take these opportunities all the time when I meet people to give them a nugget of life that someone may not have given to them. And I chose to do it with this young man tonight. I didn't know if he knew who I was. I honestly didn't know why he followed me. When I saw his mom, I was like, maybe his mom said, hey, this guy will probably support you or pay attention. So follow him. I don't know what that conversation looked like. But I chose, because I had a moment, to say, hey, young man, be consistent and show up. He shared with me his mother has been consistently showing up for herself and her business and her health. And obviously, as a mom to this young man. You never know what your words in a positive way, how they will impact somebody. You never know how they will negatively impact if they're negative. What I encourage you to do is find positive words to impact, especially young ones. If not your own young ones, their friends. I often pull my son's friends aside and give them words of wisdom. I often get eye rolls from my own son as I pour words of wisdom into him. Because it's like, Dad, again, because I want to reinforce. I encourage the audience, because this is like an emotional thing for me. I encourage the audience today to go pour words of wisdom or impact a child in a positive way. If you're a parent right now, impact your own. If you have infants, impact your own. Just read to them. Just talk to them. Tell them that you love them. But more importantly, when you are around other people's children, impact them in a positive way. Share with them your knowledge. Share with them how they can make a better life for themselves. I basically told this young man, show up every day for yourself. He's chef, right? It was chef. He's a chef. He likes to make food. I said, listen, whether you make it or you do not, I encourage you to show up every day. There's no reason you can't, because you eat every day. So share with people different foods that you like, different foods that you'll make, different foods and textures that you appreciate, but just show up every single day. And if we empower children to show up for themselves every single day, this world would be a so much better place. I don't know jack about parenting. I really don't. I'm winging this thing just like many of you. But it just makes very logical. I happen to be a very logical person. It makes logical sense that if you pour positivity into people and encourage them, if that's what goes in, that's probably what's going to come out. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.